Greetings, everyone. So I just got back into town about 30 minutes ago, and I have to leave about 30 minutes from now, but I received emails from several of you asking about kind of the logistics of just getting started with the SQL project. So I wanted to make a quick instructional video to kind of walk through that. So since I'm in a bit of a time crunch, this is not going to be a super well produced and edited video, but hopefully will be useful in getting you started. So what I have here on the screen are three things. First, the dbeaver SQL client that we're using in the class, the mghh_ddl.txt file that's available on Canvas as part of the assignment, and the mghh inserts file. So the DDL file, of course, is our data definition language that's going to create the table and the structural constraints and things like that, while the insert statements are going to insert the data that we are using for the project. So when you log into dbeaver, this is where you're going to start. If you click on the little arrow here to expand this schemas node, you'll see all of these different schemas, and this corresponds to each student enrolled in the class. And basically each one of these is an individual database on the database server. So every student in the class has their own private database that no other student can access, and you have read and write access to this database. So if you scroll down, you'll see your username is actually highlighted in bold. So in this case, mgrimes is my database. If I click on the little arrow here to expand that, you see there are a lot of options: tables, views, materialized views, things we've talked about. What you want to do is click this little arrow next to tables, and if you have created any tables, this is where you will see them. So if you've been following along with some of the examples in class, you may be in a state like this where you have these four tables: customers, horses, medications, and orders. If you haven't been following along with those examples, then you might not have any tables here at all, and that's fine as well. Okay, so that's kind of the lay of the land with dbeaver and getting connected. Now the question that many of you all have had is around all of these drop table statements at the beginning of this DDL file. So we only need to drop the tables if the tables currently exist and we want to get back to just a clean slate, right? So if you have the customers, horses, medications, and orders table, we've used it as an example in class, you want to get rid of those because the new tables that have been provided as part of the SQL project have a lot more data in them. So if I said select asterisk from horses, you see we have the 14 horses that we've talked about so far, but in the main data set, there's actually many, many more horses than that. All right, so we're going to want to drop these tables that don't have all of the data we need. Now, if you try to drop a table that doesn't exist, Oracle is going to give you an error message that says the table or view does not exist. It's fine, that's not a huge deal. You can just kind of move on with your life if that happens, but I'm just going to select the things that need to be deleted: orders, medications, horses. I'm going to highlight these, and remember, if you're executing more than one SQL statement at a time, you need to click this execute script button. So I'm going to click that. It's going to drop those three tables, and then I also have to drop the customers table, so I'll copy and paste that and run that one. And now if I come over here and right click and say refresh, you see I don't have any tables remaining. And of course, it is important the order that the tables were created in, because, for example, the horses table references the customers table. So I can't delete customers until I've deleted horses, because horses references customers. But at this point, we are just at a completely empty database, no tables in there. And so we're going to create our tables. The customers table, as it says here in this comment, and comments in SQL start with these two hyphens at the beginning. We're going to create the customers table because several things reference customers, but customers don't reference anything, right? So if I select this, say Control C to copy, and then come over here and Control V to paste, execute this, it says that we've created this table. If I go over here, right click, refresh, you see we now have our customers table in it. Now there's nothing in our customers table yet, but the table structure itself exists, okay? Now for all the other stuff, we can even just kind of select everything all at once. Control C to copy, come over here and paste that in. So we're creating our barns table, stables, horses, medications, and so forth down the line. I'm going to do a Control A to select all, and then click this Execute SQL Script button. And it whirls around for a second. It says it ran 14 queries. That's creating the 14 tables. If we come over here and right click and refresh, you see we now have all 14 tables that are described in the SQL project. Okay. Now at this point, all of our data definition language is done. All of our tables have been created. Now we're going to insert data into the tables. Okay, so that's all that's happening in this mghh inserts file is we have all of these queries that are inserting data about customers. So I can select those, Control C to copy, come over here, and I just delete all of that, Control V to paste that in there. Now we just have all these insert statements. So I'm going to click the Execute SQL Script button, and it'll take just a second. It says we ran 55 queries and updated 55 rows. So at this point, if I said select asterisk from customers, you see we have all of our customers here. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert our, what is this, about 6 barns here, our stables, horses, medications, orders, races, all of these things. And again, it's important, well, in many cases at least, that these insert statements be executed in this order, because sometimes we have tuples in another relation or another table that are going to be referencing the values that we're inserting, right? So since horses reference customers, we have to insert our customers before we insert our horses, okay? Because a horse is owned by a customer, and if we haven't created the customer that owns a horse, that horse, the foreign key in the horses table that refers to the customer, would be referring to a tuple that does not exist, which is a violation of referential integrity. So I just hit Control C to copy this. Of course, you could go to the Edit menu and select Copy, or you could right click and select Copy. We're just copying and pasting. I'm going to come back over here to dbeaver and paste. And now we have, I mean, lots and lots and lots, hundreds of insert statements that are about to run here. I'm going to click the Execute Script button. It even gives an error message that says, hey, this is a large script. You're doing a lot. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Just say, yes, that's fine. And so this will take just a couple of seconds. Almost done. All right, so we just executed 862 SQL statements to insert all of that data. So now at this point, if I were to say select asterisk from horses, where we previously had just 14 horses, you see we now have some 163 horses, right? If we wanted to see only our female horses, we could say select asterisk from horses where sex equals F, and there's just our female horses. And remember, this is case sensitive, right? So you have to have an uppercase F because these are all uppercase Fs, right? If you said where sex equals lowercase f, we're not going to get anything in our results. Where spots equals no. And there's all of our horses that don't have any spots. All right, so hopefully this helps you get started. Remember, we're not going to be having class on Monday, April 8th, and I also won't be able to hold office hours. However, if you do want to meet and try to troubleshoot any of this, I would be happy to set up a time later this week, Tuesday, April 9th, or any time beyond that. But hopefully this kind of gets you moving in the right direction. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, send me an email and I will try to respond back to you as quickly as I can, but I'll have a lot more availability after Tuesday. So good luck with this. I hope this video helped explain some things. I look forward to seeing you all next week on Monday, April 15th. Go forth and do great things, and I'll see you then.